All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Borough of Swissvale Council Agenda Meeting for November 19th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Let's go through our roll call. Dr. Alfonso Wells.
Present.
Mr. Haynes, I don't believe is able to join us this evening. Mr. Miser. Mr. Miser. I see a thumbs up. All right, we'll take that. Yeah, his mic must not be working right now, but he is here. Mr. Quinn.
Present.
Ms. Stribling.
Present.
Ms. Swartzwelder.
Present.
Mayor Swartzwelder.
I'm here.
Wonderful. We have one public comment. John Ryan. Mr. Ryan wanted to speak about safety issues on McClure Avenue for Halloween. So, Mr. Ryan, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is John Ryan. I live over on McClure Avenue. I wanted to do a quick follow-up on the trick-or-treating that we had this year on McClure Avenue. As usual, we had well over 600 trick-or-treaters and their families, and we really appreciate the borough closing down McClure to traffic that keeps everybody safe. Unfortunately, this year, the only thing blocking traffic was plastic cones and some sticks. And at Aurelius and McClure, they weren't really sufficient to stop some determined drivers who still wanted to come down McClure. We had, over the course of the 2 hours, 2 PRT buses come through, as well as 2 cars come down McClure, both entering at Aurelius, and they proceeded all the way down to Commercial. Around 7:30, when we had all of the trick-or-treaters at the street, we had a Jeep that sped through well over 20 miles an hour. Thankfully, everybody was able to get out of the way, even though there was a lot of screaming at the Jeep, and nobody got hurt or even killed, which honestly could have happened at that rate of speed. For next year, I'd like to encourage the borough to review and strengthen the plan to keep traffic off McClure if we're going to tell people that it's closed just during those 2 hours. My suggestion would be to close McClure entirely from Monroe to Commercial and to have an officer stationed at Scheuer and Aurelius to redirect any PRT buses, although next year it's on Saturday night, so I don't think that'll be a problem, but mainly to block the drivers who are trying to get around and cut through. This sounds like a big use of resources, but it's honestly only 2 hours, and our main priority is keeping everybody safe during that night, which is always a fun time. Thanks for listening, and I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan, for those comments. Thanks also for always being out there every year for trick-or-treating at your house in McClure. I share those concerns. I was out with my kids, so I did not see that, but I do know it is a perpetual or perennial problem of vehicles moving, plowing through or moving barriers. So I appreciate the comments. We'll definitely take that into consideration for next year. And yeah, I agree. The cones we had were pretty pitiful. One got snapped because I was told an intoxicated woman tried to jump over it and landed right on it. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. But again, thanks for the comments. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention, and we will take some of those items into consideration for next year. We've got kind of an odd meeting tonight. We are going to let me try to kind of frame this. Initially, we were going to have the budget presentation tonight. We are delaying that until the December 3rd meeting because in light of this regionalization process, there's still some numbers that we haven't been able to finalize and put in the budget. And so we are going to have 2 separate legislative meetings in December. So the agenda, if you're following at home, is going to have some agenda items for the December 3rd meeting in 2 weeks. And then there'll be some agenda items for a December fill-in-the-blank meeting, which we will talk about here tonight. So all of that, we're trying to cover all of that in tonight's agenda meeting so that we can put it on those 2 successive legislative meetings. Mr. Batchey, did I miss anything in that introduction?
Nope, you're good.
And so just a reminder, the budget meeting will be 6 o'clock in 2 weeks on December 3rd. Excuse me, at Dixon School. Our regular scheduled meeting will happen at 7 o'clock, but we will have that budget presentation prior to that. So let's go first through this December 3rd meeting. Agenda meeting. 4A, discuss appointing a member to the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Yeah, last month, council appointed 7 members to the Transportation Advisory Committee. When I informed the members that they were appointed, Breezy Muller declined the appointment. If you remember, there were 8 applicants for 7 seats. Mickey McGlasson was the one who was the odd man out. I reached out to Mr. McGlasson. He said he would be happy to serve. So my recommendation to you would be to appoint Mr. McGlasson. And then since we did have the extra applicant, if that's, if that would be your wishes to do that, we can go ahead and appoint him next week.
Any comments, questions?
2 weeks, I'm sorry.
In 2 weeks, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and put that on the agenda. I believe, Mr. Batch, you had forwarded the declination email from Breezy to
Yes.
council.
Yes.
For that. Okay, 4B. So yeah, we'll put that on in 2 weeks. 4B, discuss special meeting date to adopt budget and associated ordinances.
So as Mr. Ansel had mentioned a few minutes ago, we do need to set a special meeting date to adopt the budget and any ordinances, resolutions go along with it, because you do have to adopt a tax rate every year, regardless of whether it changes or not. You do have to adopt the garbage fee, and there will also be like the new workers' comp policy, new property and liability policies, new health insurance policies, because with the police department splitting out, the borough's insurance policies, the health insurance renews the first of the year every year. The property liability auto insurance renews on April 4th. The workers' comp renews on July 30th. Now we're going, so we have to take all the police out of all this. So in talking to the insurance agent and the insurance companies, they won't just remove a group of people. They will only write new policies. So it'll be all new policies. So I will put it on the agenda to approve the, each policy individual with the company, who it's with and the amounts, and get that started. So as Mr. Ansel said, that's what's holding up the budget process is that, but it's all in process. I get calls every day from them asking more questions, how this is structured, what who's where. There will be some, it sounds like the police health insurance will go up slightly and the remaining borough employees will go down. So that 6% increase across the board that I brought up last month, not going to be necessarily, it'll probably be 6% overall, but it's going to be a little bit, that balanced a little bit differently. So we have to wait to do all that. But with that being said, we need to schedule a special meeting, and after we advertise the budget. So what we typically do is we have the budget meeting on a Wednesday evening, which would be December 3rd. The advertisements in the paper on December 4th that there's a 10-day period. So that takes us to December 14th. So we can schedule the meeting December 15th or later. And so anytime after that, we can schedule a meeting. We're not the state, so we have to adopt our budget on time, or we'll be sanctioned by the state. But we do have to adopt it by December 31st. And I would just recommend, we just if we could look at our calendars now, look at that week of December 15th and see, what's good for everybody.
So, Mr. Batchy, I mean, I had initially thought about Wednesday the 17th just because we have often had our meetings on Wednesday. I do know we'll be talking a little bit later about the possibility of some police hirings. Do you think the 17th would give us enough time to have those interviews done and completed in time to also adopt those at that meeting? Or should we aim for the following week?
Chief Watson, do you want to weigh in on that? Do you think we could have the background, have all the backgrounds done and do some interviews before the week of the 5th?
I will, yes, if I know that's the deadline, it will be done. We are actively working on them right now, so we should be good by then.
I think Mr. Batchy's computer froze. Chief Watson, in conversations with him, it sounds like there might be 1 or 2 candidates that have we cannot interview them before a certain date. That won't be affected at all. That we'll be able to still have those interviews before the 17th.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. I think Mr. Batchy's having some computer trouble. Can you hear us, Mr. Batchy?
I can.
Okay. Your video's frozen.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
It's coming back now. Yeah, so I had asked Chief Watson about if the 17th.
I heard everything.
Okay, great.
So can you hear me okay now?
We can.
Okay. So we can interview. You just if there are two.
Is it just me or are other people having trouble hearing Mr. Batchy?
Yeah, it's
breaking up.
scratchy. Yeah, he's breaking up.
You're breaking up, Greg. I'm not sure why.
And see,
Greg, can you hear me? Yeah, we're okay. Well, Greg, can you hear me now? Video came back in. So, Mr. Batchy was saying something about when we can interview some candidates, and I was hoping to hear that date. If you can hear Mr. Batchy, can you put it in the chat and I can announce it? If you can hear. All right. Well, how does
Mr.
go ahead.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, what was your question about the two candidates?
So we have two candidates. So my understanding is that there are two candidates that are on our list that are finishing up the academy. And that
Out of the top four, there's actually just one candidate right now who's in
Okay.
the academy.
so one
But
one
there's
candidate.
nothing, but we can, I don't think there's any issue with interviewing them and moving forward
Okay.
prior to, we can do that.
Okay. Then that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we weren't setting it too early and had to have another special
No.
meeting. So what do other folks think about the 17th? Or are there any other dates that you want to throw out there for us to consider?
The 17th works well for me, so I
Me
can do
well.
it that day. If it was earlier in the week, that would not work well, but the
Okay.
17th actually does.
Yeah, the
17th is good for
17th
me.
works.
Okay. I'm hearing enough. I see there's some thumbs up. Great. Okay. Let's put that in on the 17th. Miss Ansel, if you can just forward that information to Greg that's what our decision was, since I think he's restarting his
Can
computer.
do.
So
Yep.
thank you. All right, we're going to keep going on. Our next item is 4C, which is discuss the 2026 meeting schedule. This was attached for council to see. It's basically our normal schedule agenda, the last meeting of the month, last Wednesday of the month, the legislative meeting, the first Wednesday of the month with 3 changes. The first is the reorganization meeting. We are mandated to have that the first Monday of January. So that is going to be in person at Dixon. The time is to be determined because we have to work around the schedule of Judge Caulfield to be able to come and swear any newly elected officials in. So that will be on that Monday the 5th. April the 1st, there's a conflict with the first day of Passover. And so Mr. Batchy proposed Monday, April 6th as the alternative date for our legislative meeting. And then finally, similar to what we're doing right now, instead of meeting the Wednesday right the day before Thanksgiving, suggested moving that a week ahead to November 18th for that, and also combining that with the annual budget presentation. So then any discussion on that? Any issues with that schedule as proposed? Okay, I'm not sure if we have to vote on that, but if so, we will put it on I will give Mr. Batchy the knowledge that there is a consensus of council for that. If we have to vote on it, he'll add it to the agenda for 2 weeks from now. Otherwise, we will just adopt it as such. Mr. Batchy looks like he's back.
can you hear me?
You can't. I'm still hearing a little bit of feedback or distortion on your mic.
Oh, well,
So I'm just gonna keep going with this. We're at 4D, discuss openings on various boards and commissions. The way that we've done this the last 4 years is that folks who have been serving and their time is running out are invited to, we reach out to them and see if they are interested in reapplying. We also solicit new applications through mid-January. And so what we would do then is regardless, or depending on what the openings are, we would interview folks the final Wednesday in January at our agenda meeting, and then vote to appoint those boards and commissions the legislative meeting in February. The goal of that is to not have, there were certain years where it wasn't till April or May that we were making these votes, and you've already lost almost half the year. So we tried to expedite that process a little bit. We have, it looks like 1 5-year term on the zoning hearing board, 1 4-year term on the planning commission, 1 seat for the Steel Valley Authority, 5-year term. We've got 2 shade tree advisories, 1 2-year and 1 5-year term, 2 seats on the HRC, Human Relations Commission, for 3-year terms, and 2 seats for Recreation Committee at 4-year terms. So does any council members, elected officials have any questions or comments about that process? If you're good with it, we will move forward, and the office will reach out to those whose terms are expiring. See a thumbs up.
Yeah, no issues.
Sounds good. All right, well, we'll move down to number 5, agenda items for our December 17th, 2025 meeting, as we just discussed. Mr. Batchy, can you hear me now? I'm just seeing how your internet is.
It looks like he could hear you because his thing lit up like he was
Yeah.
trying to answer. So, but we just can't hear him.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to keep going.
For
And
all
I
of
just,
you.
oh, sorry, say that again, Mr. Batchy. Yeah, he is having some problems with that. I'm just going to keep going and hope that I'm
I'd
not.
be better off to just call in,
Yeah,
call on
I
the
would
phone
agree.
and instead of doing the video.
Would someone be willing to text him and suggest that to him?
I'm
got
on it.
Thank you. Whoever said I'm on it. All right. Well, I'm just going to keep moving, and we can circle back if there's anything that we seem to have missed. For this December, I keep forgetting what date it is, 17th meeting, we have 5A, discuss hiring of police officers. Mr. Batchy today sent the list, the civil service list, to council just to kind of give us a heads up of how the testing results were. We had 13 applicants, and I believe 8 of them were able to pass the written and oral examinations. In that list, we will have interviews. We are required to hire. There's a certain process of, we first interview our first candidate through numbers 1 through 3, and then after hiring whoever that person or deciding to hire that person, then everybody kind of moves up a notch, and then we would go for 1 through 3 again. We have 2 positions that we are interviewing for. The goal of this is that we would hire them at our December 17th meeting with the desire to put them on the Swissvale police force effective December 31st, so that January 1st, when it rolls over to the regional police, we've got a full board ready to go. I don't know if I'm missing anything or if any council members, elected officials have any questions or comments about that agenda item.
No questions, but President Ansel, will that December 17th be in person or?
That's a good question. We've typically done those interviews via Zoom of late. I'm not sure how we would hold them. And one other note, that does remind me, one other note is we do want to invite the Braddock Hills representatives to be a part of those interviews, since even though we're technically hiring them to the Swissvale Police Force, it is with the purpose of the joint regional police force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So want to give them an opportunity to weigh in as well.
It usually seems that it works out better for them when they're able to do it virtually, just in terms of their time commitment, so that they're able to get to our meeting, but still continue to do whatever the other things are that they have to do that day. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, unless anyone feels strongly otherwise, I would recommend Zoom. I think it's just more convenient for this type of
Agreed.
opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Miser, would you, as the chair of the current chair of the police committee, be willing to kind of find or reassemble whatever questions that we have gone through in the past, so that we can make sure that we have a consistent approach to the applications?
How are you?
When you said no, I couldn't, but I heard you say, can you hear me now?
Okay. I have a question, so
I'll just assume you said you're going to pull the
And
questions.
he can pull.
Again, am I breaking up? Is it like
No,
just my
you sound
computer?
fine.
Okay.
I guess.
I don't know why there's so many, why we're having some trouble tonight with some of these. Let's see if Okay, I think I covered everything on 5A. Let's move on to 5B, discuss 2026 property and liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, and health insurance. Mr. Bacci alluded to this earlier in the meeting where because normally we would just have a renewal and it's not an issue, it just renews. But because we are having the separation of the police force from the other borough policies, we basically need to create 2 new policies, and so we will need to approve those those policies. So we'll make sure that they get on whatever agenda, I think the December 17th one, as needed. Any questions about that I probably can't answer? Yeah. 5C, discuss 2026 budget. As I said at the beginning, the budget is not yet complete. We're missing a few items, specifically dealing with, for instance, the minimum municipal obligation for pension funds, things like that, that I know some other folks, some other organizations are working on crunching. So once we have those, Mr. Bacci will meet with the Finance Committee to go over the budget, and then it'll be presented sometime after that at that December 3rd meeting at 6 o'clock. Questions? Okay, we'll keep moving on. Items D through G are going to be discussed a little bit more detail at the budget meeting on December 3rd. We'll have to talk, every year we have to set what our millage rate is. We will discuss our fee schedule, which we updated that recently, but I know Mr. Bacci, in working with the budget, is deciding whether or not we need to adjust any of those fees. Our 2026 garbage fee, and then our 2026 sewage fee that deals with Alcosan. I mean, when you pay your sewage bill, the majority of it all goes to us, but the majority of it is earmarked for Alcosan, and some of it is also, there's also a few dollars in each bill that goes to the borough, and that becomes our sewer fund for sewer repair and things like that. So I see a phone on. Mr. Bacci, is that you? The phone is muted right now, so I don't know if you're trying to talk. Well, I'm just going to keep talking. Are there any questions about those items D through G? We just need to bring them on here so that we can make sure that we add them to our agenda for that December 17th meeting. All right, I'm just going to keep moving forward. I mean, those are our items. I know when we get to the borough manager's report, hopefully Mr. Bacci is able to communicate, because there was something which I'm blanking on what it is right now. I think I know what it is, but I know there was something that under his report he was going to bring up for us to add. It was just something that came up yesterday, and the agenda had already been published, so we figured we'd bring it up in that regard. So let's go to our departmental reports. Let's start with the police report. Chief Watson.
Good evening, everyone. The first thing is about that complaint about McClure Street with the traffic. I will notate that next year we need to do things a little differently. I mean, part of it's I can work with Mr. D'Ambrosia about public works and what kind of barricades we can put out. Obviously, the cones weren't adequate. Maybe we should consider doing the full-on barricades across the major streets to keep traffic all the way down at the end. Just a question: do we close commercial as part of that, or do we just stop there?
Yeah, we close McClure and Monroe, and then we close basically all of the intersections going down McClure. So McClure and Lafayette, even though it's one way, people will try to come up it.
Yes.
We close at Hammerly, Hammerly. Gosh, whatever's the one that is the right across from Hammerly. I'm blanking on it right now. Close that one, close Tenet, and then close Aurelius. And then Nevada, basically Nevada is open, and that's when folks usually can get back on McClure towards commercial. Mr. Ryan Ryan was suggesting closing it off all the way down to commercial, not closing commercial. But all the way down.
I think if we're going to do that, we actually need to close the streets both at McClure and at Schwer, because that prevents people from trying to cut through and having to back out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can come up with something reasonable. I mean, that's really become a thing when you have 600 kids down there. We can plan a little better. The issue we have always is a matter of manpower with the number of officers working and the ability to have them block streets for 2 hours. But we can have a detail where we can talk about those types of things to address that.
Yeah.
So
I
I
know
just
in
wanted
past
to go over that.
Thank you. And I know in past years there had been, I was not around the area earlier. I was on that street later, but I know in
Yeah.
the past there'd been like the bike patrol had been out there. I don't know if they were out
Yeah.
again this year.
No, we didn't have adequate people
Okay.
to be able to do that. So
But that's a presence. I mean, I know, and sorry for taking all your time, Chief, but I know like when I was closing one of the streets, there was a resident that was like, I just need to get to my parking spot there. And I was like, look, it's closed. And I was like, if you need to get in, call the police and they can get you in the barrier if you need to. And she ended up leaving early anyway. And so thankfully she parked outside of the barricade, but she wanted to come in and then she would have had to leave again. So it's,
well, maybe another thing we do is post no parking signs down the street for that time.
yeah,
And that hopefully gets most of the cars out of there so you don't have people, one, trying to park while it's going on, or two, trying to get out while it's going on.
Yeah.
So there's some things we can look at that we've done in the past that seem to be effective with that.
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for commenting on that and addressing it for next year.
No problem. I know that Mr. Bush and there had been another complaint about traffic on South Braddock corridor and Woodstock. I with this the accreditation assessment's happening tomorrow and Friday. So I've been heavy working on that, and that's, going to be some long days, but it's going to be well worth it. Hopefully we accomplish what we started out with. So I will have that available at the next council meeting in December 3rd, if that's okay. More
Thank you.
information, but we've been doing additional traffic details down there.
Wonderful.
So that's still ongoing.
Thank you.
And that's all I have for tonight.
Any questions or comments from council elected officials? Well, I just want to say, Chief, I mean, with regard to the board of the police regionalization, the Swissville Braddock Hills Department, you and Officer Holinsky, Chief Holinsky, put in some great work, and I mean everyone was just thrilled with the designs that you have for the patch, for the badge, the car, the vehicle. So real excited to. I don't know if at some point in time you want to unveil that kind of to Swissvale, share some of that. It would be great because I think they're real sharp looking, and so I think folks will really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to give credit to the officers. I mean, we went back and forth with a lot of ideas, and Detective Sergeant Corrado kind of was the lead on the patches and the badges with a lot of input from other people. And Chief Holinsky did a lot of work on the cars, and so I want to give credit where credit's due as far as like I'm very happy with how it looks. I think it represents the area well, and it will be something that people can look at and be proud of. So thank you for those.
Yeah,
For those kind words. It's something to look forward to.
you're welcome. All right, so let's move on to fire. Chief Wilhelm, I don't think is here, but I see Assistant Chief Volpe, so I assume you're giving the report tonight.
Correct. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. President.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There is no fire code report this month.
Okay. Any questions for Assistant Chief Volpe? All right, well, we're going to keep moving on. Let's see, we're Public Works. Mr. D'Ambrosio.
Good evening. Just two quick items. Leaf collection. We're in the middle of leaf collection. Obviously, next week with the holiday, there will be no leaf collection, obviously, on Thanksgiving or the day after. As far as garbage collection, no collection on Thursday, Thanksgiving. But if your garbage is on Thursday, it'll be picked up on Friday. If your garbage is on Friday, it will be picked up on Saturday.
Great, thank you so much. And do you, just out of curiosity, going back to the Halloweenish question, or do you still have the like wooden barricades in the Public Works? I know the last couple of years you've seemed to use those plastic poles with cones.
Yeah, we do have some of the larger wooden barricades. Over the years, they've gotten damaged or stolen. We don't have as many as we did previously, but we could look into getting some more in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Those are just a lot hardier, but I know they're also a lot heavier to move. Any questions for Mr. D'Ambrosio? All right, well, we're gonna bypass the borough manager's report for now, because I know he's restarting his computer again. He is on his phone and is listening, but is having trouble unmuting the phone. So he's not able to give input at this time. So we're gonna go, I have like nothing. Council report. I'll share this. I believe the item that Mr. Batchy, if I remember correctly, wanted to add, I shouldn't, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. We'll just let him speak on it when he gets there. So I do want to share one of the council discretionary projects that we had done, had apportioned some funds towards several months ago, was a mural on the side of the Public Works garage. They just tonight finished it, and I just wanted to share it with you because I think it looks great. There's lots of different elements of Swissvale in it. It's on the Public Works, the side of the Public Works garage. So if you go, Irvine past the fire department and keep going to the end of the street, you can't miss it. But there's just a lot of, just a lot of nods to different facets of the Swissvale community, of our business district, our residents, our the government. The 15218 is the backdrop of the Cary Furnace site, and so really pleased with it. The artist, just a big thank you to Scott, who is a Swissvale resident, as well as Max and Shane, who kind of tag team to do the work. Up in the upper right-hand corner above the LE, there is a greetings from that is not on this picture, but they were able to finish that tonight. So just really excited. I think it's a beautiful piece of art, and hope it adds to the pride that we feel as a community. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. Let's go to the solicitor's report, Mr. McTiernan. Can you hear us, Mr. McTiernan? All right, so still waiting on, we're just gonna hit pause for just a minute. There's just gonna be a few, oh, wait, he unmuted?
Yes, hello.
Hi,
I don't
Mr.
have any-
McTiernan, we're up to your report.
I just don't have anything to add to the agenda this evening. I will have a couple of points to raise with the manager about some of the legal procedures for the ordinances for millage, et cetera. But other than that, I don't have anything to add to the agenda. Sorry, I have a little trouble with Zoom unmuting once in a while. So thank you for your patience.
That is quite all right. We are having some technical difficulties across the board tonight. So I did want to report on what the other new business is, because I don't know if Mr. Batchy's computer / phone is going to work. We had, with our borrowing for the borough building project, we had set up had a $6.5 million loan approved a long time ago. When the project kind of ballooned beyond what we thought it was supposed to be, we had talked about getting kind of like what we would call like a bridge loan of $2.5 million to borrow and then pay off immediately once we get reimbursed with the RCAP grant. So we had passed I think it was an ordinance to approve that borrowing of the $2.5 million, but the DCED rejected it the way that it was originally worded by the bank. And so Mr. Batchy had a meeting with the bank and with the contractor that Mr. Batchy, can you hear us okay now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Maybe you should finish. I was in the process of explaining
Yeah, I heard everything.
Okay, perfect. You can just take it over because you know a whole lot more of this than I do.
So what happened is we approved the $2.5 million borrowing last month, the ordinance to do that. And when Dinsmore and Scholl submitted it to DCED for approval, DCED rejected it because they said you're not allowed to have balloon payments, because the way they amortized it was we would do a 30-month draw period with interest only, and then we would make a balloon payment at any time during that 30 months when we got our RCAP money back. The problem being you're not allowed to do balloon payments. They want level debt service at all times once you're out of the interest only period. So after meeting with Dinsmore and Scholl yesterday and also the First Commonwealth Bank Loan Council, they both agreed that we could do this as an interest only loan with no amortization showing that amount of money being paid back as a balloon. They said DCED does accept that as long as so what we originally asked for was a 30-month with an 18-month draw period and another 12 months, hope in case there's a delay in getting our funds. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because I noticed myself I'm freezing up on my screen on my faces. So I'll try to get through this before it falls apart. So we can do a 12-month draw period from January 7th, 2026 to January 7th, 2027, and then accrue interest until January 7th, 2028 at the most. So this would be about the same time frame as before because we started this process almost 6 months ago. So it's not going to delay us, it's not going to hurt us. We could still draw money around May, which is about when I think we're going to need it under this loan. But what we need to do is pass another ordinance at this month's meeting accepting the terms as proposed by the bank. So it's just we're passing the same thing again, same ordinance. Dinsmore and Scholl said they'll advertise the ordinance and the advertising will fit in the time frame between now and our December 3rd meeting. And they said if we get that passed on December 3rd, then we can have a closing on January 7th for this loan. And the good news is we're saving money on interest the longer this delays.
Thank you, Mr. Batchy.
I'm sorry for the technical.
That's okay.
Here.
I mean, I'm glad you were able to hear most of it. I don't know if you ever watched PTI, pardon the interruption, on ESPN. They always have a segment at the end where it's like corrections. So feel free to jump in. You heard what I said. If there's anything that you'd like to correct the record of what I announced, please, by all means, do so.
No, the only thing is Sean texted me, Dr. Alfonso Wells texted me, said we're doing the 17th. I didn't hear that part. Is that at 7 p.m.?
Yes, 17th at 7 p.m.
And are we doing that virtually or are we doing that in person?
Oh, that's a good question. We didn't talk about that. What do y'all want to do?
Virtual.
All right. I mean, we will have the in-person meeting on the 3rd. So yeah, if folks are okay with it, we'll do virtual. Hopefully it's a quick meeting. We just need to approve a bunch of things. We'll have already talked about it.
Right. And does anybody have any questions for me for any of the agenda items I missed all of them. Does anybody have any questions for me that you want me to or clarifications that you want me to give?
Looks like not. Do you have more in your borough manager's report you wanted to share?
The only other thing is I just wanted to give a borough building update. The building is about 30% complete. It's completely framed in. If you've been past there, they have the purple board on the outside. This is a barrier for that from the inside to the outside. The brick and block will go up against that on the outside, and the insulation will be on the inside. But they are actively putting the roof on the building this week. The permanent roof. They've stubbed up the conduit for the future solar panels. Those are up to the roof from the basement already. So that infrastructure is in for the future. They are starting to frame the walls on the first floor with the studs, and they are starting to build the block walls in the basement. Both floors are poured. There's a lot of heating and ventilation, cooling work going on right now, along as a lot of wires being pulled for the electric, and a lot of plumbing work. So I was in there yesterday. There are probably 20 people working. A lot of stuff going on right now. People working around each other and making good progress. So I was happy to see it.
Awesome. Any other new business we need to discuss tonight?
Well, I have a piece of new business, but it's just some announcement I wanted to make.
Sure.
I noticed, and I hope everybody is being aware of, their neighbors who may be older or unable to rake their leaves or to, clean up their snow. And so I'm going to try to set up a system that we can get Swissvale helpers so that if someone is interested in helping to clean their neighbors' yard, remove the leaves. I did help one of my neighbors. I had not realized, I hadn't seen them in a while. And I was embarrassed myself that I had not paid attention, and I was passing by and saw them walking outside and they were having trouble with the leaves. And I realized that, I need to be more aware of what's going on with others that are around me. So I went over there and raked up the leaves and made sure that they got picked up, and they were very happy about that. But I'm going to make sure I'm more vigilant. So I wanted to see if maybe there are other helpers out there that want to help or can identify neighbors that they know that are probably elderly and cannot do it. They used to do it. They were used to being able to do it and are unable to do it now, so that we can offer a hand to help them out so that they aren't tripping over leaves as they're trying to get in and out of their houses. It would be a great help. So I'm going to try to set something up so that if anybody wants to be a helper, so that we can identify people who want to help, and also just identify maybe some places that they think, hey, my neighbor here really needs some help. And that way, I mean, I just want it to be sweet and simple. You don't even have to sign up, but if you notice that somebody down your block needs help, then help them. I think that this is a wonderful time of year to start that process, and it can start with the leaves.
Thank you, Dr. Alfonso Wells. Any other new business? I'd welcome a motion to adjourn at 7:42 p.m.
Motion to adjourn at 7:42 p.m. And Chris, I think you beat my record.
I don't know about that. Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, I thought I saw you second. All in favor of approving? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? See you all in 2 weeks at Dixon.
Good
Ciao,
night.
ciao.
Night, everyone.